So today is actually a lovely day. What I want to talk about? I want to talk about. I wish I knew. I wish I knew that a lot of the places in Canada kind of look the same, like in terms of like houses and like the infrastructure. um when it comes to houses in particular, yes, I know certain neighborhoods look different or very colorful. Like for instance, in Montreal, you have Mont Royal. Around Mont Royal, like you have a bunch of houses that have like colors and stuff like that, right? And a lot of it stand out, and it's like a tourist type of attraction. But for most places, it's not really like that. Every street kind of look the same, which is boring. Maybe I've been a bit biased, but when you go to places like, say for instance, I grew up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and in St. Vincent, like everybody's house look different. Okay, people express their creativity to their houses and how they decorate the colors that they use, the the way that their houses are decorated inside out. And it's kind of like easy to find people's houses because what it looks like, and it stand out. Like people paint their houses in different colors, like purple, blue, off-white, like or like have like you what do you call those, like bolsters on their porches that have like different colors. So like, but here it's not quite the same. It's like, with white culture, for instance, it's all about like conformity, if I'm saying that word right. Conformity, and like conforming to a certain standard, which is like, I feel like it takes away from individual expression or family expression. I know people decorate inside their house, of course. But this is just an example of how you have to conform when you're here. There's certain rules and even regulations that are in place that doesn't allow homeowners to do whatever they like with their houses. And some of it makes sense. Like for instance, like when you have older houses that have been around for hundreds of years, of course you want to maintain the historical value of the house or the building or whatever, which I really appreciate. And I really do have an appreciation for places that has that old kind of, whether that's Greco-Roman architecture. It really shows how like people back in the day, or society back in the day, value art and value beauty, whereas now, like, everything is about minimalism, conforming, and you don't really see that expression of beauty anymore. And it's kind of some of it is good, some of it is kind of sad, because everything is like sterile. Like even if you look at the cars, like most people, they wear cars that are like, they have cars that are like black, white, blue, just like basic colors that blend in. You have to blend in the clothes that people wear. Like I love the shade or the color, whatever you want to call it, black, but it's like if you go in a crowd, everybody is wearing the same colors, and you're blended in, and it's like very sterile. Because colors, I feel like, add a different dimension. Some colors excite you, especially like colors like red. Some people say that some colors have different vibration, but I'm not really 100% a mystic or believe in that yet, but yeah, I think you get the point. Also, yeah, like I remember going to Greece, and I was so, how do you say it, I was so amazed by the white and blue houses. I know there's one reason for that, because like light colors like white also retain less heat, and in those places it's gonna get very hot in the summer, but it was really nice just seeing the blue, the white, and then you have the pink flowers, and then certain places have their own touch, and it looks like you're living in a fairy tale. Whereas here, it's kind of like boring in some sense, except if you go to places like Old Port, Montreal, which really gives that old French, European style with architecture. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how I went from houses to architecture to clothing. But yeah, I even remember going to Colombia, for instance, and I went to this place in Bogota called Rakira. It's a kind of like a village there, and Rakira, like, it's a very artsy type of town, and I was so amazed by all the colors and the art, just the vibrancy of everything. But I don't know if I see much vibrancy here at all, except for like graffitis and all those stuff. And yeah, like I said, like even with fashion, people basically wear the same colors. I remember going to the mall in a mall in Bogota, and it's like you can see with the ladies' fashion, like there was just a lot of colors. Whereas here, you go to these big box stores, and it's all the same colors, which makes sense because like a lot of companies, they just want fast, cheap products to be out as quickly as possible. So I guess it kind of helps when you have the same colors, so then the manufacturing cost is way less than say if you had to like produce thousands and thousands of products with different colors and different styles. That's kind of hard to maintain because yeah you know yeah these people prioritize profits, right? Or these companies prioritize profit over art, over beauty, over uniqueness, so to speak. And it's reflected in the culture as a whole, right? It's reflected in everything, like I said, clothing, buildings, the fashion, this idea of conformity, and yeah, like, look at that. I think that's ugly. But anyways, that's my judgment. I'm passing my judgment. Maybe I'm being biased, but if you can relate, you can drop a comment, a like, or whatever. I don't want to say ranting, but that's one thing I wish I knew and also was more aware of. And maybe if I was aware of those things, I would have been more appreciative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a whole, or Caribbean culture as a whole, because there is a huge difference, to be honest. There's a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences. And yeah, I guess I'm trying to connect the two worlds in my mind. But yeah, thank you for listening. Hope it makes sense. Ciao.